So if you've ever been there, you're deep in the zone, storyboarding with an AI, and suddenly you realize your main character has changed their hair, their jacket, and maybe even their entire face by panel 10. It is so frustrating, right? Well, today, we're going to fix that. We are breaking down the 5 most common and frankly maddening pitfalls when you're using AI for storyboards, and I'm going to give you the exact protocols to avoid them for good. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle that frustration spiral. Then, we'll dive into mastering style and really locking down your composition. After that, we'll cover how to write smarter prompts, not harder ones, and we'll wrap it all up with a look at a professional's workflow. By the end, you're going to have a complete toolkit. First up, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and tackle the biggest headache of them all, the AI frustration spiral. This is all about character inconsistency. So what exactly is the inconsistency spiral? Well, it's what happens because the AI has absolutely no memory from one prompt to the next. Seriously, 0. So every time you generate a new panel, it's like a brand new attempt at creating your character, which, as you can guess, often leads to these little or sometimes major variations that just completely shatter your storyboard's continuity. And this slide, this shows the problem in a nutshell. In prompt 1, you ask for a young detective, and boom, you get a guy with brown hair and a trench coat. Perfect. But by prompt 5, you just say, the detective looking surprised. And suddenly, you've got a blonde character in a totally different jacket. The AI understood detective, sure, but it had no memory of which detective. So how in the world do we fix this? We use what I call the character consistency protocol. It's super simple. You create one master character description with very specific repeatable details. Then, and this is the important part, you copy and paste that exact text at the beginning of every single prompt for that character. It sounds almost too easy, but trust me, the simple discipline is the key. It will save you hours of re-rolling. Okay, let's move on to our second pitfall. This is all about mastering style. It's about how to stop fighting with the AI when all you want is a simple sketch, but it keeps giving you these epic, cinematic masterpieces. And the reason this happens is pretty simple, actually. These AI models, they're trained on millions and millions of finished, polished images, so their default mode, their happy place, is cinematic. They naturally lean towards high detail and photorealism. If you want a simple sketch, you have to get really direct and pull them away from that default. The solution is a little technique I call the triple-layer style specification. Think of it as a 3-pronged attack. First, you hit it with positive keywords. Tell it exactly what you want. Storyboard sketch. Clean line art. Second, you use negative prompts to tell it what you don't want. Negative, photorealistic, 3D render. And third, you anchor it with a specific reference, maybe a studio or a show you love. This 3-part command gives you total control over the look. Okay, pitfall number 3, commanding composition. So you've got your character looking consistent, you've nailed the style, but every single shot is flat, centered, and let's be honest, kind of boring. It's time to fix that. Let's learn to direct the AI like a real cinematographer. You see, just like with style, the AI has a compositional happy place. It's been trained on millions of portraits and simple hero shots, so its default is to just stick the subject right in the middle, staring at the camera. If you want anything more dynamic, using the rule of thirds, creating tension with negative space, you have to spell it out piece by piece. And this right here, this is your cheat sheet for doing exactly that. This composition command template is your new best friend. You don't just say a character in a room anymore. Nope. You specify the shot and the angle, their exact position in the frame, the different layers of depth, where the light's coming from, and even the emotional balance of the shot. This is how you get intentional, story-driven compositions every time. Now for a pitfall that's going to feel a little counterintuitive at first, writing prompts that are actually too long. We call this prompt bloat, and believe it or not, it can totally derail your results. Think of it this way. The AI has a pretty limited attention span. It pays the most attention to, say, the first 30 or 40 words of your prompt. So when you write this 400-word novel describing every tiny speck of dust in the room, you're not getting more specific. You're just diluting your most important instructions. The AI just grabs onto the first few keywords it sees and kind of ignores the rest. So, what's the sweet spot? Well, for most complex storyboard panels, you're looking at somewhere between 60 and 100 words. Anything over 120 words is usually just wasted space and can actually confuse the AI, leading to worse results. Brevity and focus are your best friends here. The fix is all about ruthless prioritization, and we use this three-tier structure. You want to front-load your prompt with the absolute must-haves: the shot type, the subject, the action. That's tier 1. In the middle, you put your tier 2 info, like the environment and the lighting. And then way at the end, that's where you stick tier 3, the little optional details. This makes sure the AI gets the most important parts of your request first. All right, our final technical pitfall is really about your mindset. It's about shifting your workflow from treating the AI like a vending machine where you just put in a coin and get something out, to treating it like a real creative partner. Let's just look at this comparison. The amateur writes a prompt, clicks generate once, and just accepts whatever comes out. But the professional? They know that the first generation is just the start of the conversation. They generate multiple variations, they analyze what's working and what isn't, they refine the prompt, and then they select the best option to improve by hand. For pros, iteration isn't optional. It's absolutely essential for quality. And here's how you can do that systematically. In round 1, you just explore. Generate a few variations to see what the AI is good at and where it struggles. Then, in round 2, you refine your prompt based on what you learned. And finally, in round 3, you select the best generation to use as a base for your final artist-driven panel. This structured approach turns generating into a predictable, productive process. Now, all of these technical fixes, they all point to one last really crucial idea. This is less about a single pitfall and more about your entire mindset. It's about avoiding over-reliance and seeing the AI for what it is, a tool, not your replacement. Here's the essential difference. Your value is in the storytelling, the pacing, the acting, and making those final artistic choices. The AI's value, it's in speed and exploration. It's an unbelievably powerful assistant that can generate options for you, but you are the director making the creative decisions. A pro knows how to leverage the tool without giving up their artistic voice. So, let's bring it all together. Here is your pre-flight checklist. Before you generate any panel, just ask yourself these 5 questions. Are you using a master description for consistency? Are you using the triple layer method for style? Did you specify the composition? Is your prompt nice and concise? And are you planning to iterate? If you can say yes to all 5 of these, you are going to avoid 90% of the frustration. I promise. And that really brings us to our final thought. The goal here isn't just to get better pictures from the machine. It's to integrate this technology in a way that amplifies your own creativity and your own skill. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Are you just operating a tool, or are you using that tool to become a better, faster, and more creative artist? The choice is all yours.